Alright, time to delve back into the vault and dig up some more interesting footage from the Danger Pack private test. So you can see in the shop here, we level up into Manakin. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce the first part of its name, so we're just going to call it Manakin for the purposes of this video. And it is a tier 2 in the live version. But the reason it's tier 4 here is because it has a completely different ability, which we'll get to see very shortly, and it is pretty spectacular. As we can actually see, the Takin has a completely different graphic as well. So we're going to hang on to the Manakin because it is a buy ability. I'm just going to save it until the time where it's actually going to be useful to me. I'm going to get the level up potential. You can see the Takin actually has the Saola ability from the live server. So they were just swapped over. This is actually obviously before the speed of the games was changed. And actually the reason the speed was changed is the fact that there are so many stalling pets in this pack. So you could end up with some turns, you know, turn 1 and 2 lasting 20-30 seconds. Yeah, that's not ideal. So I transform the Takin with the original Codro. So what it would do is transform a level 2 unit into a base stats unit from the tier above, or was it 2 tiers above, I think. So that was pretty busted. In customs you could use it to get a monkey on like turn 3, I think, or 4 maybe, I can't remember. But you can also see the Taita Thrush ability there was a bit different, although we're not going to cover it in this video, I don't think. And that team had a sloth. So of course, you know, it doesn't matter if you're on a test server, you can still get a sloth. I'm actually just going to rewatch them because they had a sloth, and I'm very interested in that sloth. We don't have anglerfish in this pack. Red Panda would technically allow us to get angler, but it would transform before the ability would go off. However, what we can do is we can buy this Manakin, and you're about to see what its ability was. It is pretty wild. So here we go, we buy the Manakin, and our entire team turns into the enemy team. So that allows us to steal their sloth. Now unfortunately, because it's a level 1 Manakin at this point, all of the pets are also level 1. And part of the reason that this ended up getting removed is because it's pretty busted at higher levels especially. At lower levels it's pretty terrible, because all their, you know, even if you have level 2 units yourself, they all get converted into level 1s. So I mean, I guess you could steal a whole pack 1 team, but they would all be low level. I suppose another reason this was removed is that it doesn't really synergize too well with a lot of the other transform units. As we actually see Oblinaut as a perk, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, originally it was a perk instead of a stat food. And I believe it gave you health back based on a percentage. So it would be like, maybe we'll see it in action here. So I've got 21 health. How much health do I get back after I take damage here? Let's see. Yeah, so you can see Saola has the Takin ability. Yeah, so we ended up getting plus 10 health there. And obviously those kinds of percentage-based perks are kind of messed up by things like Behemoth. So that ended up getting switched, and I'm glad it did. So obviously I'm going to go for the level 3 sloth, just for fun. And we're just going to have to keep this team as it is, I guess. The Hawaiian monk seal, you can actually see its ability was different here as well. When it took damage, or when you got hurt, you would gain +1/1. But it could stack onto the same unit. So you can see there the sloth ended up getting buffed 3 times by the monk seal, and that was kind of a bit OP because you could just have 2 or 3 of them all pumping stats into 1 unit. And again here we can see the original version of White Ochre actually had a different sprite as well. I think at this point it's bugged, or the sticky ailment is bugged, so in battle it's actually just going to show up as a bunch of blocks. Which looks a bit odd. There's also the different graphic for the Hirola there. And you can see the base stats on the Sumatran Tiger were higher. And it also did splash damage at level 1, which I guess we'll see in action here. So we're going to knock out the Frogman and then also hit the two other units. Yeah, kind of unfair. Also, the scaling from the even just level 1 Hawaiian Monk Seal is so good. That's basically why it ended up becoming health only. Although maybe it's not the greatest as it is. So we upgrade Marine Iguana. And I guess I'm just going to freeze both of these. I don't have enough gold. I guess I'm just conditioned from Cornucopia and so on to think that they're going to be free after buying it. So there you can see the the bugged artwork for the ailment. I don't think it actually made any difference there because the macaque already had very low attack. So the Sticky's effect was to actually make the maximum damage 5 from the first attack. So it looks like I'm going to take the stake on something. Yeah, a bit tentative. This doesn't actually make any sense putting the stake on the tiger. I would have to get rid of the iguana. And I think here I'm going to find out. Yeah, okay. I realize that the tiger just doesn't help. We get blue whale. Although we don't get the 15-15 stat line if we do transform. I think that's a slight adjustment that could be made. You know, it's slightly misleading there. You'd think that if you select the blue whale 15-15, that's a massive improvement. But no, it's just going to turn into the red panda stats. So I just take Yeti for a turn. It would be pretty nice if the Yeti rolled another sloth, but I don't think that has any effect on the likelihood of rolling one. And we're definitely gonna lose here. You can actually see Taki had a different sprite as well. So Yeti manages to roll past some chocolate there, unfortunately. And this does put us down onto 1 heart, so it's looking pretty grim at this point. And actually, it's a very, very similar looking team. Taki's ability at this stage was to gain stats based on jumps. And look how quickly it gets up to almost 50-50 there. And it's GG's for the sloth that we cloned via the Manakin. So I was kind of determined during this part of the test to try and get a winning run in this pack with copying an entire opposing team using Manakin. And yeah, so in order to do that, we have to do play against all packs, which is what I'm doing here. And again, there we used Codro. Pretty strong perk that it was originally, and you can see also there that the giant tortoise at level 1 originally had 6 attack instead of 4. Everyone was using Tree Kangaroo a lot since it was something that needed a lot of testing, and I think we do lose by 1 HP. And you can see a different stat line on the shrew there, 1-4. And then also the turtle or the terrapin in the shop is tier 3 instead of tier 5, and it gave maple syrup instead of white okra. We get the bonobo, and it's actually level 3 bonobo here. And multiple people have asked me about this. You can see it was actually bugged. It was supposed to be on buy, transform into a random friend, but at this stage in the test it was bugged, so it would always transform into the backmost friend, which allowed me to clone the shrew there guaranteed. Even if that had been patched out, it was still completely busted being able to randomly transform on buy at tier 3. I think even at tier 4 that would be too strong. So I end up converting the shrew into a dolphin. Basically here, all I really care about is getting decent stats on my unit, so I probably shouldn't have done that transformation. Although maybe this could have been just during a stage where I wasn't specifically going for the Manakin. You can see that I rolled past it. So I guess I'm going to find it later on. It could also be that I'm going to get the Manakin as the result of a transformation. The problem in this pack, if you bought the Manakin, it would transform your whole squad, including the Manakin itself, so you couldn't actually get level 2 or 3 without a transformation. So I guess we'll see that in a second. I pass up another Manakin there. So I guess what's probably going to happen is I'm going to transform the giant tortoise, or maybe one of the angel sharks. I don't remember. But still a lot of teams in this that look very similar to what actually ended up launching. This is the original cardinal fish where everything could get put down to one attack. And it ended up in some pretty horrible battles like this that last forever. I think, was there something else there that was different? I think at this point the dolphin did not gain any attack. So if you were knocking out the units in front, it just wasn't doing anything. But yeah, look how long that round lasted, and all of these 1 damage attacks and 1 damage snipes. Not much fun. So I think we're going to look for... Okay, we get the double chocolate. I guess I could transform the river dolphin here as well. I take the level up on the angel shark, and then we're also going to take the other, the helmeted hornbill, which is the other scaler. I think those two haven't really changed at all. Maybe they had some stat line adjustments, I don't remember. Very strong looking team here, I think. Yeah, pretty common at this point in the test to face lots of teams like this where the front 2 or 3 units were absolutely huge because of the Hawaiian monk seal just piling stats onto them. So that puts us down to 1 heart. And is this the point where I'm going to get the transformation? I feel like it must happen pretty soon. We need a chickpea. Or maybe I'm not going to lose the next turn. I guess that must be it. Jump team, again, Hawaiian monk seal. And you can see here that Tasmanian Devil at level 3 would actually jump attack 3 times. Pretty nasty. In fact, there were multiple pets. I think African Wild Dog and Snow Leopard could both triple jump attack, which was, pretty disruptive. Although in that scenario, unfortunately, the Tasmanian Devil kept attacking the giant tortoise. Okay, I'd make the exact same mistake again with the Judean date. It is kind of difficult to get used to brand new stuff, I suppose. Now here you can see the original Golden Tamarin used to transform into any start of battle pet. So you can get a tier 1 and then a tier 6. And the Thrush's ability there is actually crazy. That had to be patched out as well. It was... it would activate any start of battle pet on feint. So if you had like a 50-50 leopard in customs and it fainted, you could make it snipe again. I've probably got some good clips of that somewhere as well, but it's just, a coincidence, I guess, that it's popped up in this run. So here you can also see that Rollaway Monkey was originally adjacent instead of 2 friends in front. And you could also get Kiwi, so the pool was a bit bigger. There were more weaker hurt pets in there, so I think you could get Volcano Snail as well because it was a hurt pet in the early turns. Early tiers, rather. So I hope I've actually got the right recording here because we're on turn 13 and I still don't have the Manakin yet. But we faced this ghost team. This is not a ghost, this is definitely a real player's team because the ghosts tend not to play shark at the back and parrot behind turkey. So we're going to win here because the Geo Tortoise is going to, like stonefish the shark at the back. And here is the Manakin in the shop. So now I guess I'm not going to be able to get the higher level Manakin. I'm just going to have to go for copying this team. I'm on 1 heart. I can't wait any longer. So we're just going to sell the worst unit that we have, which is probably... Actually, I don't know why I'm selling the Angel Shark here. I should be selling the Hornbill. Maybe just because it has the current. And I think here I'm changing the order to try and match their team. Like I want the Shark to be the Dolphin, and I want the turkey to be the giant tortoise. So we buy the Manakin and we completely clone their team. And unfortunately, though, everything is level 1. So Oblonaut will go on to the shark. And then I need to try and get some levels onto these guys as soon as possible. Again, Judean date, where I'm going to have to freeze this stuff for next turn. It's kind of weird seeing a parrot with 648 stats. And I think this is the same team from earlier with the the triple jump. Like, look how many jumps that was. And then the Taki becomes 43, 43. But I think we might... Are we maybe going to be able to get through here? No, I guess not. Yeah, clearly not. But maybe that gives you an indication of why jump teams got nerfed quite a bit before release. So if we want to see something really broken, we're going to have to look at this. This is customs. Here is a level 3 Manakin. I think it was from Stoat. You could also just make any level 3 tier 4 and then transform it until you found one. And I think here, am I going to do it this turn? It might be next turn before I do it. There's another Manakin in the shop, but we don't want to buy that because then we would lose our Manakin. But there you go. We use the waffle on the Manakin because it's a buy ability, and we copy the opposing team, which was Starfish, Frogman, Anubis, Takushi, Pigeon. And you can imagine where this run went after this, because all you have to do is sell a couple of units, level 3 units, and the Starfish is going to go absolutely crazy. It's quite a unique ability that a Manakin originally had, but I think it's pretty obvious why it had to be changed.